Hi, and welcome to Faith and Flower. I'm Robin. I hope you are having a great week and starting to see some signs of spring wherever you live. This week, I have compiled a whole hour of cleaning motivation along with my tips and suggestions for doing a deep seasonal cleaning to prepare your home for spring. So come along room by room and clean with me and we'll get it all done together. Whenever I'm cleaning, I like to start with the areas that need the most attention first, and sometimes those are the least fun to clean, like the bathroom. So let's start there. For spring cleaning in the bathroom, I start with all the things that I normally do on a weekly basis. Things like cleaning the toilet, the bathtub or shower, and the vanity. And in addition to that, I will pay attention to some of the details that I don't need to visit every week. Things like getting the stains out of the bottom of the bathtub. So usually this takes a little time to build up, and once a season or so, it's a really good idea to go ahead and try to remove them. And I find that something as simple as a magic eraser does the best job. So I'll spend a little time working on this, and it's usually good to go for the next several months. I just want to mention here that I don't take on all of these cleaning tasks all in one day or even one weekend. I like to spread them out, and I kind of tack on a few of them each day to my regular cleaning routine so that I can get them accomplished over a couple of weeks' time, and therefore I don't get overwhelmed. I usually write down a list of tasks that I would like to get accomplished, and I just go through them systematically, checking them off one by one. In this video, I'll be showing you the main things that I like to tackle each spring, so hopefully it will help you get your list started, and it's by no means exhaustive. We all have different homes and different lists of priorities too, so just use this as a guide and you can eliminate the things that you don't feel are appropriate for you and add anything that is. Remember also that while we are all homemakers, we are all in different seasons of life. If, for example, you are a mom with little ones that require your attention, I don't want you to feel pressured to accomplish all of these. Just prioritize the ones that are important to you and allow good enough to be good enough. If this is your first time visiting my channel, I'd like to welcome you and invite you to subscribe if you enjoy content like this and want more homemaking inspiration and motivation. Another thing I like to do is wash the shower curtain and the liner, and when I put them back up, it really does a lot to freshen up the space, and it's a good time to assess if those things need to be replaced, if they're stained or they're starting to get ragged. You can replace them at this time, and if you have glass shower doors, you can address any buildup or soap scum that's been collecting there as well. Now is a great time to give the light fixtures a little TLC. I usually just use a damp microfiber cloth for this. If the glass globes are extra dusty or have a buildup of hairspray or something like that, you can take them off and run them through the dishwasher and they come out sparkling clean. Wipe down all of the cabinetry with a damp microfiber cloth or a very mild cleaner to get rid of any dust, hairspray buildup, and fingerprint smudges. After vacuuming the floors and baseboards, I deep clean with a steam or microfiber mop. We have 2 bathrooms in our home, so I just repeat all of the same things in this one, paying attention to any particular details that need addressing in here. If you have hard water and any mineral deposits or stains of any kind that collect around the base of your fixtures, you can easily remove them by mixing up 50% white vinegar along with 50% of a dishwashing liquid of your choice, and then use a brush like this one or a toothbrush to access all of the little crevices. window, so I'll clean that while I'm at it too. And I really like using a general purpose microfiber cloth just dampened with water, and then I dry it with a window and polishing cloth for a great streak-free shine. I clean the mirrors the exact same way, and it works better than any product that I've ever tried. Patrick and I usually take one Saturday during the spring and also in the fall to clean all of our windows on the inside and out. He usually does the outside while I work on the inside, and we knock that out pretty quickly all at one time. Best defense against clutter creep is to address it seasonally, and so now's a great time of year to really go through all of the drawers in the bathroom, the cabinets, all of that, and declutter. I like to remove everything, clean the drawers while I'm at it, add a fresh liner if necessary, and then I go through all of the items and assess, am I still using this? Is it expired? And only put back the items that I actually use. I also sort of check to see if the organization systems that I've put in place are working, and if they are, I will just return everything as it was before, or I will tweak things to see if I can make any improvements. On to the bedrooms. My best advice here, as in any room, is to clean from the top down so that you are knocking any dirt to the next level and not having to re-clean anything. And ceiling fans are something that gather so much dust and really need some special attention at least a couple of times a year. So spring cleaning is the perfect time to do that. And if dusting isn't sufficient, then I suggest getting on a ladder with a microfiber cloth and really wiping them down well. Usually dusting with a lamb's wool duster like this one I find works really well. It attracts the dust, and when it gets sort of full, I just take it outside and knock out the dust or vacuum it. But if you have a lot of fingerprints and smudges, we don't have small children right now, so that doesn't happen a lot here. It's a good idea to clean it with something that's appropriate for your furniture, and one of my favorites is Method Wood for Good Cleaner. our bedding every week, but this time of year I like to clean everything. So that includes the duvet, not just the duvet cover, pillows, blankets, the mattress pad, all of it. And ours is all machine washable, but pay attention to whatever you're using to make sure that you wash it appropriately. In our living room, again, I start from the top down, reaching all of those high places with an extension duster, making sure that I grab all of the cobwebs from the corners and the crown molding. Then I move on to the ceiling fan and work my way around the room from top to bottom, dusting all of the surfaces. vacuum all of the upholstered furniture in your living room. This ottoman is where we put our feet up lots of times, so a lot of dog hair, dust, and debris gets caught in here. So I like to thoroughly vacuum the top and the sides because our dog brushes up against that. And then for the sofa, I will vacuum each cushion on all sides, take them off and vacuum really well underneath. And then I put everything back, trying to arrange the cushions a little bit differently each time so that we sort of distribute the wear and that it lasts a long time. Other tasks that are great to include in your spring cleaning are the light fixtures all over your house, not just the bathroom and the kitchen. And I find that sometimes just a dusting with a damp microfiber cloth really is all they need. Replacing air filters and cleaning the vents and exchanges is a really good idea, especially if you live in an area where it's warm and you're going to be using your air conditioning soon. Lots of times vacuuming is all that's required, but if they are particularly grimy, and I notice that in our kitchen this sometimes happens, I remove them and then wash them thoroughly with some soap and water. controlling all of the touch points in your home is a really important part of spring cleaning. And by that I mean doorknobs and the area around them, also light switch plates and anything that your family touches on a regular basis but that you overlook in your weekly cleaning. A magic eraser works great to remove fingerprints, and while you're at it, using a disinfecting wipe would be really good on the doorknobs just to eliminate any viruses that were spreading during the winter months. I mentioned it in the bathrooms, but deep cleaning the floors all over your house is a great task to add to your spring cleaning list. I really like to use my steam mop for a good deep clean on the floors, and a little hack that I found really helps is using an extension cord. So I don't have to keep unplugging it and moving it to a different location. It doesn't disrupt my momentum and keeps things moving quickly. And a lot of you have had questions about using a steam mop on wood floors. We have engineered hardwood floors, and my steam mop has a low setting that is safe for hardwood floors. So I feel comfortable using it, and I don't use it for my regular weekly cleaning, but I definitely do once a month or so, and definitely for spring cleaning. Now for the kitchen. I dust my kitchen cabinets just like I do all of the other furniture in our home, and I just use this lamb's wool duster. It does a great job, and if it feels like it's getting sort of full, I will take it outside and shake it, or I will use my vacuum cleaner to clean it, and then I'll just bring it back in and continue. And if my cabinets feel like they need a wipe down, I'll do that too as part of my spring cleaning. If you have shaker style cabinets like we do, you'll notice that a lot of dust collects on those little ledges and gets caught in the corners. And so dusting like this periodically really helps to keep that from building up and makes it a lot easier to clean so that you don't have to figure out how to get the buildup out of those hard to reach corners. For wiping down the cabinets and the countertops, again, I just like to use a damp microfiber cloth. after all of the surfaces are clean, it's the perfect time to decorate for the new season. Periodically, I like to declutter and organize the pantry just like anything else. It's great to get in there to see if there's anything expired, just to sort of take inventory a little bit so I know what we need to use and also what we need to replace on our next grocery trip. And just like any other area of our home, I sort of assess how the organizational system that I have in place is working. So anything that's working well stays, and anything that needs to be tweaked, I can do that now. And of course, spring cleaning must include all of the kitchen appliances, starting with the oven. As you can see, the glass is covered in all sorts of splatters, and the inside of the oven is as well. This time where we live, I have a self-cleaning oven, but I've discovered in the past that even with that, it's best to clean the glass before you use the self-cleaning feature on your oven. It's also important to remove the racks, especially if you want them to remain shiny. If you don't have a self-cleaning oven, I have a lot of experience with that. In our last home, we had a gas oven that did not have that feature, and so I can explain as I go along the best way to clean that as well. No matter what type of oven you have, a little prevention goes a long way. And that's what this black sheet is that I'm taking out of the oven now. It is a non-stick oven liner. And so I put it on the bottom shelf and that will catch any drips and it's super easy to clean. For cleaning the glass on the inside of the oven, I have found that using Barkeeper's Friend works better than anything else. I've tried the baking soda and vinegar method. That does work, but it's messier and it takes a lot more time, plus a lot more elbow grease. So I prefer the Barkeeper's Friend, and it's completely safe to use as long as you protect your hands, make sure that you don't inhale it by mixing it with water so that the particles don't become airborne, and make sure that you don't mix it with any other cleaners. You can even buy it in a liquid form. I just like to use the powder because then I can control the concentration. Once I've created sort of a paste and spread it around on the glass, I will let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes. And while I'm doing that, I'll start working on the racks. I like using the Dawn Power Wash and one of these stainless steel scrubbers, but first I will spray everything down really well with the Dawn, and again, I'll let that sit for about 10 or 15 minutes. After 10 minutes, it's time to give the glass a light scrub, and this is really easy to do. The Barkeeper's Friend loosens up everything, and I'm just using a natural fiber sponge on the scrubby side to find all of those little brown burnt on bits and remove those. Those stuck-on splatters come off so easily. It really doesn't take much elbow grease at all. And after I've loosened them all up really good, I will go over it with a microfiber cloth just to remove the paste. Once I've gotten most of the paste off, I will rinse my microfiber cloth and then go over it one more time, kind of rinsing it. And that was the hardest part of cleaning the oven. It took less than 5 minutes hands-on cleaning time. And now I'm going to use my self-cleaning cycle. So I just open a window to make sure that I have some good ventilation. And this part takes 4 hours. So while the self-cleaning cycle is running, I'm going to take care of the racks, and they've been soaking in the Dawn Power Wash for a little over 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes by now. And I'm just using one of these stainless steel scrubbers, which does wonders. In fact, I've used it without any cleaner before and it does pretty well, but the Power Wash does help loosen everything up and just make it go a little faster. And so if you don't have a self-cleaning oven, I would recommend using the Barkeeper's Friend all over the inside of the oven that has any splatters. It will work the same way as it did on the glass. It takes only 5 or 10 minutes after you've spread it on, and then you can scrub and wipe it off. It will be a very easy job. If you aren't comfortable using Barkeeper's Friend, then by all means just mix up a paste of baking soda and vinegar similar to the one that I did on the glass and spread that all around the inside of the oven. You'll probably need to wait longer. I would recommend overnight if possible, but at least 3 hours or so to let that really work and loosen everything up. And then you can do the same thing, scrubbing it and then wiping it out with a microfiber cloth. It works great too, it just takes a little longer. When the self-cleaning cycle is finished, make sure that you let the oven cool down completely. So I actually waited until the next morning, and all I had to do was wipe it out with a damp microfiber cloth, and my oven looked just like new. We got this oven back in the spring when we were renovating our kitchen, so it has only been maybe 8 months or so that I've been using it, and this is the first time that I used the self-cleaning cycle, and honestly the fumes really weren't bad at all. With the window open, it wasn't a problem, and so I recommend if you have a self-cleaning cycle, don't be afraid to use it. It's what your oven was intended for, and if you are going to use some kind of commercial cleaner, make sure that it's okay for the surface of your oven if it is a self-cleaning oven. The other trick to having a sparkling clean oven is to clean it a little bit more often. I've been guilty of this in the past because I was dreading doing it and I put it off, but this was not a hard project by any means, and the reward is really good. So it's so nice to have a nice clean oven, and I can't wait to start using it again. Don't forget to put in the non-stick oven liner. This has saved me so many times and is so worth it. You can cut it to the size of your oven so that it fits perfectly, and the one that I have in my Amazon store, and you'll find the link for that down in the description box. Next up is the microwave, and the best tip I can give you is prevention. I keep a box of these wax papers in the drawer right below the microwave so that everyone in the family knows to grab one and cover their food before putting it in the microwave. And I don't have to hardly ever clean my microwave because this prevents all splatters. If you don't like the idea of disposable papers, you can use a plate, or they make some plastic microwave covers that you can also use, and you can wash those out each time. But this just saves so much time and effort on my part, and my family has gotten used to using these. So this is my best advice for keeping your microwave clean. And if you do have to wipe out your microwave and you have a lot of splatters, as you can see, there's like only one splatter that I can see in the microwave, and I honestly haven't cleaned it for a couple of months. I just use a microfiber cloth that's dampened with water to wipe it all out. But if there were a lot of splatters, you might need to loosen those up by boiling a cup of water. Some people like to add a little lemon juice to the water. That freshens everything really nicely. Just make sure that you leave it in there boiling for a minute or so, and that will loosen up all of the stuck-on parts, and you'll be able to use your microfiber cloth to clean it easily. Next up is the refrigerator, and my best piece of advice is to go shelf by shelf, and there's a few reasons for this. It saves energy, so I can unload the top shelf. I always start from the top and work my way down. And once everything is on the counter from the top shelf, I can close the doors, and that will save energy. But probably the best reason is that if you are like me, you may get interrupted in the middle of this process, and it will be very easy for you to stop and pick it up again later than if you had unloaded everything out onto the counter and then you have no choice but to finish the job. I know if I removed everything from my refrigerator and set it on my counter, it would look overwhelming, and if I got interrupted, then I would have to worry about the food sitting out for too long. So once the top shelf is empty, I can use my damp microfiber cloth and the window and polishing cloth to dry it and get those glass shelves and anything that's on the sides of the refrigerator interior clean before putting everything back. And of course, while everything's out on the counter, I double check to make sure that nothing is spoiled or is past the expiration date. And so I would toss anything like that and then put all of the nice fresh items back in the refrigerator, kind of grouping like items together and making sure everything looks nice and tidy. Then I just repeat that with each shelf, and like I said, if I get interrupted or I run out of time, I can just stop right there and pick up the next day or even the next week. I also always try to clean my refrigerator before I go to the grocery store. When the inventory is a little bit low, the job is a lot easier. As you can see, I use microfiber cloths for the bulk of my cleaning, especially in the kitchen. I just find that they are so effective, and I like that I don't have to use a bunch of different cleaners. I only need water, and I can oftentimes just use one to clean the entire kitchen. And so when I feel that it's necessary, I just rinse it and it's ready to go. I am using ones from eCloth, and I have some of my favorite ones again in my Amazon store, so you'll find that link in the description box. To clean the drawers, I normally recommend that you remove it instead of cleaning it like this, but this large one is hard to remove from our new refrigerator. The ones that you see the produce in below come out, and I do take those out to clean them, but again, I'm just using my damp microfiber cloth. There is a window and polishing cloth that I use afterwards to sort of dry it, and then it's ready to be reloaded with all of its contents. Okay, so now you know where I hide the chocolate. Who would have thought the produce drawer, right? And I use a vacuum cleaner if there are little bits in there. This saves so much time when cleaning before I use my microfiber cloths to really give it a good cleaning. You're probably wondering what this little box is that I'm reattaching to the inside of the drawer. This came with our refrigerator and has a little packet inside that helps keep our produce from ripening too quickly. On the doors, I found that I can usually remove the shelves that I have on our refrigerator here without removing the contents. That saves me a little bit of time. I can close the refrigerator doors while I'm working on them, and then I can reload them again on the counter before putting them back in. Every refrigerator manufacturer has sort of a different system, so that might not work for the shelves that you have on your door. Just be really careful and make sure that that's not going to cause a kitchen accident before you try it the way I showed you. As you can see, this top shelf wasn't coming off as easily as the others, and because I have a lot of glass jars on there, I didn't want to take any chances, so I did remove everything from that bin. So just beware and be careful. For the outside of the refrigerator, again, I'm just using a damp microfiber cloth to really clean it, make sure that I remove all of the smears and fingerprints. And then I use a very fine microfiber cloth. Mine is called a window and polishing cloth from eCloth to dry it. And that gives it a really nice streak-free finish. I use that on all of the stainless steel, and I never use any store-bought cleaners for stainless steel. I find that they cause a terrible buildup. So over time, you'll see that there's sort of like a gunky residue in different places. And if that happens, if you've been using it, there is a solution. You can use a little bit of straight ammonia. That is actually totally safe for stainless steel. I have researched it, and I had to do that in our previous home because that was the situation when we moved in. But it will remove that gunky buildup, and if you just use microfiber cloths from there on out, you'll never have that problem again. The last appliance I'm cleaning today is our dishwasher. And you may think, why do you need to clean a dishwasher? Doesn't it clean itself? But actually there's a filter at the bottom usually of most dishwashers that catch any little food particles, and there is oftentimes a yucky buildup in there. And ours also has a removable screen that I can take out and wash it as well. So if you have any sort of weird smells coming from your dishwasher, this is probably the source. So if you don't see a filter similar to mine in the bottom of your dishwasher, check your owner's manual because most dishwashers have these, and they do need to be cleaned periodically. All you need is a little bit of dish soap and water, and I like to use a bottle brush like this because it really helps me get into all of the little nooks and crannies. Once they have been washed, you can return them and your dishwasher is really ready to go at this point, but I will take it one more step in case you're interested. And just making sure that your filters are clean will keep your dishwasher running much better and for longer. So if you notice any buildup on the inside of your dishwasher, or you just want to really freshen it up, add a cup or a bowl to the center of your top rack and about a cup of just white vinegar. And then you can run your dishwasher. I like to just select the hour mode, so like short wash or whatever your dishwasher indicates. And I like to do a heat dry, and that will really loosen up any buildup in there and make the interior sparkling clean. When the cycle is complete, just carefully remove the container in the top. It will have hot liquid in it, mostly hot water and not vinegar anymore. And you can just discard that down the drain. That will actually freshen your drain a bit. And then I just use a microfiber cloth to go over the interior, especially if you have a stainless steel interior. It will remove any, sort of smears or buildup that was loosened by that vinegar. Make sure you wipe really well all around the sides and in the gaskets to remove food that has been spilled in there, and your dishwasher will not only look amazing, but it's going to smell really fresh too. It feels really good to have all of the appliances spick and span on the inside, and so I'm going to go around and polish up all of the stainless steel in our kitchen to really make everything sparkle on the outside too. Just like on the refrigerator, I'm using a damp microfiber cloth, and then I dry it really well with a window and polishing cloth, and that's it. Normally when cleaning the hood, I would remove the vent screens and wash those, and the easiest way to do that for me is in the dishwasher because mine are dishwasher safe, but I did that recently, so I'm gonna skip that today. This microfiber cloth was made specifically for the stovetop because it has those scrubby stripes, and I do use it for that purpose, but any sort of just general purpose microfiber cloth usually does the trick. Many of you have asked how I'm enjoying the induction cooktop, and I love it for a lot of reasons, but one is the ease of cleaning it because the glass never gets that hot, so there are very rarely any sort of baked on bits, and so cleaning it is a breeze. Another reason why I really love using microfiber cloths is because on an appliance like this that has a combination of glass and stainless steel, I can use the same microfiber cloth. I don't have to switch products because what I'm using on the stainless steel smears up the glass, or that the glass cleaner isn't okay for the stainless steel. It's just so simple. Plus, I never have to worry about any toxic fumes from chemicals that I'm using around my family or our pets. Thank you so much for spending your time here today. If you were cleaning along with me, let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you accomplished today and what you have planned for this week ahead. And I look forward to seeing you next Sunday. So until then, have a wonderful week.